Alright, what's good, people? In the Boom Boom Room with me, the host, Ron Slay. I'm out here. I got a special guest on Mother's Day edition of the Boom Boom Room. You know, we had to reach back into the bag and try to get one out on us. You know, we was able to pull one out. And without further ado, now everybody know in the Boom Boom Room, it's real uncut, it's real raw, you know, all that and above. So I got theme music that I feel that I should bring each one on with. You know what I mean? Each of my guests on with. And before I get to that, with it being Mother's Day, happy Mother's Day, and most importantly, happy Mother's Day to the people who lost their mothers. You know what I mean? For me, that were influential in my life, Miss Kenza, Miss Joyce, my brother's moms, Steph Claybrooks, Carol Groves, Travis Watson, your mom, you know what I mean? Special shout out to them. Know I might be forgetting a couple, but if it come back to me, I'm going to throw them out there. Y'all know it's all love. And there's some music, y'all. Check it out. Who y'all think? You got to have a queen bringing a queen on. So.
Fans, if you want to see some real ass, baby, here's your chance. I say left cheek, right cheek, drop it low this one. Texas up in this thing, get you up on this game. I be fucking my frame, gang. If you don't jump to put jeans on, baby, you don't feel my pain.
Oh!
Don't give me hype, write my name in ice.
Hey, that's it, people. The one and only. The one and only Chamique Holdsclaw. What's up, Meek?
What's up, Slay, man? I was just working out to that song earlier, man. I love Beyonce, but Megan Thee Stallion, I like her too, but man, she out here selling people false hope, dropping so low. People know, man, the knees ain't good.
Hey, let me tell you something. My brother put me on something yesterday. The omega-3 pills. I'm gonna send you a screenshot of them. Take 4 of them and knock it out, natural and everything. Knock them joints, get them joints good, and you ready to roll.
All right, send me that, please.
Yeah, because my right knee was hurting the other day once you put that little challenge out there. You know what I mean? Once you ran with Ahmad, I had to go run with Ahmad too. And woo! Yeah, that right knee was a little tender. So let's dive straight into it, Meek. First of all, happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Cairo, he had y'all running around today, or he showed y'all a little love early?
He's just at that stage where he's really clingy, you know. He wants to be held 24/7. So that's we put him down, he cries, and then we come pick him up, he's smiling. Oh, you know how it is. He's 5 months next week, so just enjoying that, you know.
Who got the magic touch, me? You or Karen?
She does. I'm like the fun mom. See, I got some. She got the secret weapon, the booby juice.
Yeah, see, they're rolling with that regardless. Where's that?
We're gonna roll with that.
Okay. Straight up and down, let's dive straight into it. We on the Boom Boom Room today talking about Chamique Holdsclaw and her journey, then transitioning into life after sports. Mm-hmm. So let's start off. Y'all coming through, you know what I mean? New York, take us all the way up to high school. Christ the King, take us all the way through there.
Right. So I'm from New York City. My part of my journey is I grew up with my mom and dad in Jamaica, Queens, and both my parents kind of struggled with alcoholism. Make a long story short, my brother and I were taken away from my parents until they can go to rehab programs and rehabilitate themselves. So we went to go live with my grandmother, and that's my mom's mom. in the Astoria housing projects. It was really different from where we grew up because we were in like a middle class area in Jamaica. Now we're in the projects. It's a lot of kids, a lot of different things going on. And my grandmother was just like super strict. Like you gotta go to church all the time, whatever. I had to really get adjusted because my parents, they started drinking. We were kind of like latchkey kids. I could probably, at 9 years old, take you all over the New York train system, like, jumping on pissy mattresses and stuff. So imagine when I go live with my grandmother, and she's like, "That you ain't about to be out here in these streets, Well, you don't go to church, academics was never an issue, even with my parents though. But if you don't take care of the books, like, hey, your butt gonna be in this house. So I was just pretty much, I would say almost like in this environment, there's a lot going on around me, but I was like protected, I would say. And then I found the game of basketball. When I found the game of basketball, only reason my grandmother let me play, Ron, was because she could look out the window at the basketball court and see my butt.
Right.
Do you know how bad it is? First of all, I'm the only girl playing. This is the whole girl power thing. I'm playing with the dudes out there. Imagine your grandmother screaming, "Chamique, get upstairs!"
You getting the duck on, come on, don't do me like that.
I used to be so embarrassed, but I didn't go to school with the kids in the neighborhood because I was still going to this little private school. So I got bullied, I got teased, but luckily for me, they used to be like, "Private school girl, da 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 da," and like, why do you have to wear the uniform? Like all this stuff. And when I would go play basketball, the girls would want to run and take my ball, but the thing about it, I was good at basketball. All the guys like wanted to hang around me and who could play. So I would say sports helped make me like, I guess, cooler.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I can dig that. Yeah,
so I got involved in it. I enjoyed it. It was an outlet. It helped me deal with a lot of stuff. Dealing with my mom and dad. I mean, it's hard. My mom went to rehab the first time. It didn't work. It's hard when you live in this environment where kind of everybody knows each other's business, and they're like, "Oh, I hit the court, man. Why was your mom, man? Your mom's passed out like drunk on a bench or something." That shit kind of sticks with you, And so I just put all the anger and frustration in the sport. I was like, you know what? I can't control if my parents come see me not. I just want to make good grades and play basketball. And New York City is a hotbed for that, We got to see a lot of coaches that probably recruited you in my neighborhood. The Dean Smiths, the McCrimmons, Bobby McCrimmons, Coach K, because we had like a lot of talent in the area. And after that, I was playing basketball with the guys. I went to Christ King High School.
What year was this, Mick, if you don't mind me asking?
What you said?
What year was this? So we can have a little timeline going through.
1991.
91.
How old were you in 91?
In 91, I was 10 years old. I was born in 81. I'm 80s baby. 80s baby, old soul. 80s baby, 70s soul. I was right there on the verge.
That's good, 80s was a great time. You got to watch Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson. Wish you could say these kids don't have no idea. I had to tell. I know we digressing, but I had to tell my little cousin, like, man, I got to get them Jordans. What's Michael Jordan high game?
Right.
Who was the top five? I don't know nothing about Michael Jordan wearing this.
Hey, guess what though, Meek? This is what I've been doing in my household. And as much as my son's a Disney kid, loves Disney, gonna stay on it. Now you ask him something, when was Disney created? He gonna tell you 1964 in June, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But for my love and my passion for basketball, the house stops at 8:00. There's no movement on Sundays. Everybody's sitting down watching The Last Dance. I don't care if you don't want to watch it. You gotta watch it. Now you can have your iPad down and everything, doing commercials and mess with it. But when this come on, everything stops. So I feel like I do a lot. You know what I mean? And I sacrifice. Y'all got to figure out where this love came from. You know what I mean? So I feel your pain on that.
So I'm an episode behind. I gotta catch up.
Oh, no, that ain't right.
I've been on Shaq. What's it, Shaq Life? Now that's
I heard it's good on TNT. Shaq Life, pretty good. Yeah.
check that out. So yeah, so like I was saying, I went to Christ the King. It's a big time sports school.
Mm-hmm.
Academics, of course, number one, but as far as athletics, men's and women's, we got a lot of NBA players. Right now we have three number one WNBA picks, first picks. So myself, Sue Bird, Tina Charles. So that's the type of pedigree. Lamar Odom went through there, Jason Williams, like just a bunch of guys. So while I was
very
there,
rich history. Rich history, a rich basketball history.
So I go there. I'm a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
You're excited to go play with your friends. I'm like, oh my God, yes, we're gonna play JV.
Yeah.
God. And I had never really played with girls. It was mostly like in the park playing with guys. That's who I grew up playing with.
Right. So
I'm like, oh man, I would play JV. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be pretty cool. Hang out with my friends. The coach was like, Mr. Kanzer, Holdsclaw, you're not playing JV. And I went in the locker room. You know how you get your crew around you?
Yeah.
Locker room. Oh, yeah. He said, I got to play ball. I'm like crying.
Like it's a bad thing, too.
I know. He's like, no, you're going to play. You're special. You're special. I'm telling you, you're gonna be a star. And I'm like, no, I'm not. So I played no more than, I want to say it's like 30 minutes. Probably not even 30 minutes my freshman year of high school. Right. I set the bench. We had like number 2 or 3 team in the country, other Division I players or whatever, and I used to be so upset. So like, I'm talking about my family come get me for the games, and they're like, such and such had a great game. I don't care.
yeah.
Talk about basketball.
Focus on me if you're gonna do that. What you talking about? Yeah.
And fast forward, I was 5'10". My freshman year, and then next year I came back. I was about 6 foot, maybe 6'1". Had the number one ranked team in the country. I think I averaged like 19 points, 12 rebounds, and was first and second team All-American. Mm-hmm. So he was right. Yeah.
It did you good. Was this, before you go any further, was this your first time being playing organized ball other than hooping outside or maybe at the center or playing on center teams or something like that?
It was. I played PL. That's not really that organized. Yeah. And I played at my Lutheran school.
Yeah.
I played my Lutheran school. It was organized, but not at the same level as it is. It's not like the guys who were playing at, like you say, like a Riverside Church or Macho or something.
Right.
So I went and I was like, man, this is hard. The coach always yelling, throwing trash cans. He was no joke.
That's tough. So sophomore year, come back about 6 foot.
Yeah.
How you transition with the height? Now you about to get a bigger role on the team. With you waiting your turn the year before, you had a lot built up. Were you ready to get to it? Make your name, put your stakes in the ground.
I was so excited, but I always I'm kind of like cool with everybody on the team, and I just started to see the separation in my talent. And the thing is like I never really, and I think that's something I struggle with. I never wanted like my skill to outshine everybody else, and it was just pretty crazy because I would go to the basket. I'm talking about to shake somebody. They over there go for a layup. And I'll just give it to the girl right there.
Yeah.
My teammate, when I could have scored, and then she missed, and the parents are like, don't pass her the ball.
Yeah.
Don't pass it. We have to win. And so it was, I was ready, man. I was ready. After that year, when the players called me, upperclassmen, sophomore year, it's like, come in here. Come, I want to show you something. We go into the basketball office. Almost the whole bottom of the file cabinet was letters that I had received from colleges. They weren't going to give them to me until after my sophomore year.
Wow.
Like they were like, never seen this many letters. Yeah. Like they're just coming for you. And I'm like, kind of like, really?
Yeah.
And it was on and popping, man. But I was like a 6 foot. I was tall, but I was shorter before. I played like sort of like a 2-3. In high school sports, most girls who were like a 4 are about 6 foot, 6'1", and I was like, listen. They told me, "Oh, you're gonna play power forward," and I'm like, man, I watched the NBA. I want to dribble the ball. So, all right, I said a position is just a number. You know what I'm saying? So I get the rebound, boom. I'm playing point guard, bringing up the court. Man, I'm going coast to coast, like sometimes going scoring, getting back, getting my rebound. I just didn't want to be defined based on a physique or anything like that. At the end of the day, a baller, as you know, is a baller. It's just getting it done.
Regardless, exactly. So so you going out of sophomore year, you come back after about 19. Mm-hmm. Did y'all win state that year?
I won state every year, Slay. Don't play.
I'm just asking, you know what I mean? We got people out, we got the viewers, you know what I mean? We got the viewers want to know. So what I want to know is, okay, so you win state. This is what I think. I think a lot of kids that grow up, especially athletes, boys or girls, no matter either, but they have a hard time pulling away. Like you with your talent, you said you started to see the division and the talent. How do you pull away and be great, but at the same time keep your friends? You know what I mean? Keep them close to where they don't look at you like, man, that's Meek, man. Look how she acting out here now. Look, Meek that tripped on out on us. You know what I mean? So how do you keep that in a stronghold, if you will, on that? Like, what was your mindset on that at that age?
My mindset is like, okay, you know, again, I had good people skills, so I was always cool with everybody, and I was the one saying, yo, let's put this extra work in. That was me. I'm like, man, let's do this. We're gonna be great. And then I just got along with everybody, so my teammates knew their role. They were like, man, like you're the best player.
Right.
Like we know this, but just keeping it cool. And I'm like, listen, they double teaming me. Like I gotta give up the ball and make sure like they get open. And that's how you build confidence. It's all through communication. You know, I'm not walking around like that. My teammates, one of my high school teammates, Erin, I talk to her all the time. She's like, man, like all these coaches used to come and you'll be like, oh, hey, Pat Summit's coming. You want to go with us to eat Burger King or something? And it's a part about when you feel that separation. You know, everybody doesn't have the talent, but that doesn't mean they don't have to be included on your journey, right?
Right, exactly.
You need people around you, people that are gonna, you know, they understand your leadership, but they want to play that supporting role. You know, you can't do it really without those people.
Without a doubt. Okay, and for like we got people going off in the comments real quick. Hold on, let me straighten this up real quick. Listen, y'all. I know who Chamique Holdsclaw is. Trust and believe. I know she won 7 straight titles. You know what I mean? Dating back to high school, to college. I know the history. I'm asking the questions for you all, so you all will be in tune with what we got going on. So, you know what I mean? So thank you. You know what I mean? Thank you. You know, all right. So you get out of the way your senior year. Let's go over recruiting. You got they bring you in the office. They got the drawers filled. They probably falling out the drawers with letters. How do you leave New York? Did you not want to go to a St. John's or you know what I mean? What were your options? Talk to me.
So I had good grades, so I was pretty much recruited by everyone, and so my high school coach was like this. Vince Canzero, cool Italian dude, New York detective. He's like, listen, my grandmother's no joke, first of all. So he goes, listen, pick 5 schools, 7 schools, because I think your grandmother is not going to deal with these people calling you, bombarding you. He goes, all these other athletes want to have all this, you know, attention and people calling, people coming. He's like, 7. So I gave him my top 7 schools. Other schools tried to call, but nah, if you're not on my list,
I'm cool.
That's it.
Yeah.
Recruiting was pretty simple. I had let me see. It was like Tennessee, UConn, UVA, Penn State, Ohio State. And that's it, Purdue. So that was it.
Okay.
Those were my schools, and it was just really down to. I used to go to a lot of games. I'm from New York. Right. It gets close, so we would always go to UConn, and I was just like, man, it's too cold.
Yeah. What? Coming from a person from New York.
Yeah, you want to see something different. Like I used to, my family's from like Alabama, South Carolina, so I would go, and then I'm like, all right, Penn State's close, but the campus is too big. It was, I would have got swallowed up. That's a huge school, you know? So it was like, man, okay. I think, maybe, my grandma said no to UVA because I had too many friends on the team. You're not going because of friends. And she was so, she loved Coach Summit. And, yeah, I mean, Pat comes to your house now. I'm living in the hood, right? So all the guys gonna post up. They used to seeing, like I said, the men coaches come through. But you got Gino, you got all these coaches coming through. And they'll be like, you know, what's up? You know, make way.
Yeah.
Man, Coach Summit came and it was like, man, y'all some softies. They talk about,
Hey, coming through the hood like that.
Man, you know, just move out the bag. Coach Summit had them lined up. Not that the other coaches didn't, but it was just like, man, just the way she carried herself, her presence. You know, Coach Summit is cool. Like, she's walking through, hey, how y'all fellas doing?
Right. Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. Exactly.
And I had to tell them, I said, I know my high school coach, you know, the boys in the neighborhood, they knew my high school coach, of course, was a New York State detective. So they know nothing was going on.
Young Poppy. Okay. All right. So Pat Summer won you over in the recruiting battle from the sit down. How many times did she come up there and see you?
Man, oh God! As many times as they come check me out and watch my games, they came. I can't remember how much. You know, it was over. I mean, they probably came to me over 3 times.
Yeah, that's big time.
On the circuit and stuff. But that home visit, man, when she walked into my house and like her and my grandma just connected because every other school was just telling me how much I want to play. And they didn't understand, like, my grandma was concerned about the academics. You know, like, hey, she's gonna graduate. You know, is my granddaughter going to have a safe environment, discipline, and structure? Right. And that's what Coach Summit, she led with that. She's like, I have 100% graduation rate in this whole squad. And blah, 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 blah. My grandmother was sold. But it was up to me, and I went there. I never really did, even though my family's like from the South. You know, you come into Knoxville, it's just like, it was just really looking on planes. It was just like so green. You seeing that? Or that visual I wasn't used to. It was different.
Yeah. So now you get down the South. First of all, before we get any further into that, let me give a quick shout out to Christ the King. You know what I mean? Because talking about the rich history. You know what I mean? Tradition. And my senior year at Oak Hill Academy, we played them. You know, y'all had Omar Cook at the time. Y'all was ranked 2 in the nation. And we had to go and tap that thing one time, but you know, that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to throw that out there, you know what I mean? So salute to y'all. I want to beat y'all by 1 point. You know what I mean? Great game.
You went to like the legendary band of who's still okay, though. I mean, that's a different class, you know.
No doubt. So you get down now to Tennessee. Now at this point, you're coming out. You are cemented as the person in women's basketball. Chamique Holdsclaw, wherever she picked, that's what the media following. This is the deal. You know what I mean? To be quite honest, here come the shit. See the shit. How you get out of that big market and come down to Rocky Top, which honestly, people that's listening, if there's no school going on, the city, now this ain't nothing bad on the city, but the city's not bubbling. The city depends on the school for it to bubble. I'm gonna be honest. You come from that big market in New York to Knoxville, Tennessee. What were your thoughts as soon as you stepped foot on Rocky Top?
Man, my thoughts was like, yo, man. We're all Hispanic and Asian people. I was like, yeah, what we gonna go? Like, I want to get some Chinese food. You know, it's just coming. I always say I was used to so much diversity. You know what I'm saying? diversity across the board, and I came, and here I am in this campus, and nobody really looks like me. It's a small percentage, and I didn't look at those things. I didn't look at those things when thinking about a college. And I had my this girl who ran track in the study hall. When I was asking the study hall lady about it, she goes, "You can go to the International Student Building." So that's where all the diversity is. Anyway, the girl says, "You obviously didn't look. University of Tennessee's 98% Caucasian, 2% other. The 2% others are the athletes and the engineers from Memphis." Smoke. I was like, whoa. That was Zakia, my college roommate from the New York, from the track team. So a lot of kids, like, that's what they do. They pick these schools based on the coaches and the teams, and they don't know much about the environment. So I struggled. I was wanting to transfer, go to UConn, go somewhere. I was like, man, I can't do this. It's too slow. Everybody's I'm looking at them like, you talking.
Yeah, I ain't talking fast. You talking slow.
Yeah, so Coach already talked to my grandmother. She was like, Chamique was probably want to transfer. My mother was like, nope. I told you once you pick the school, you got to stick.
Right.
And a lot of these kids nowadays, they don't understand that. In certain situations, okay, if it's when you feel mistreated or you're not progressing academically or something, like, okay, I can see you transferring. But if it's something as far as sticking to something, understanding the discipline, problem solving, you're supposed to stay. So I had no out. I had no out. And Coach told me, she goes, "We got your back. It's a sisterhood here. I'm here for you." And that's when I realized, man, when you talk about family, it's not always blood related. It's the people that show up and show out for you. And I say my time at Tennessee was some of the best times of my life from the people aspect. A lot of people I didn't identify with. I didn't know what it's like living in small towns with more horses than people.
There you go.
But they don't see someone necessarily that looks like me going home with teammates, but people understanding, getting to know each other, not in fear of the unknown, because that's what gets us in life. Is like, imagine us going overseas, going to these countries, and we like, oh man, whatever. But then when you speak and you become cool, people open up their homes.
Yes.
How it is. I'm in Poland. You would think I'm a freaking rock star.
Exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes. Yeah, that's big time. So I think that's very important what you touched on as far as your relationships that grow. You know what I mean? Outside of family, it's always a saying, blood is thicker than water. And I always say, man, not in all cases. You know what I'm saying? All of it comes from water, but not in all cases, man, because relationships that you build in that short time, people don't have the opportunity to judge you from birth, whichever you did. You took their tour when it was little, you fought when I was 12, you know what I mean? You ain't got time for that. You building on common ground, and you're older now, so you're more conscious of the decisions you make. So I think, man, I always say that, I had my brother on before you last week, and we were talking the same thing, like that family atmosphere, man. I was talking to Ashley on here earlier, and the family atmosphere that's created at the University of Tennessee, man, I'm gonna be honest, is second to none. They make it hard to leave college. Like, what's going on outside of, like, everybody works hard for their pro life. You know what I mean? But those 4 years or 5 in some instances, man, that's some of the best times, dog, that you will have in your entire life.
Kids, that's why I tell them, like, y'all trying to through this, man. Like, here you are with people that ride for you, people that support. You ain't got no bills. You ain't got
right.
I mean, besides the cell phone and the little stuff they want, whatever, because they get a lot more money than we did now. They get cost of attendance checks. Right. That's a whole different ball game. But I mean, just enjoy the process, man, and everybody just working for that championship, working to get to that championship level. Sisterhood, the brotherhood. I mean, I love it. I love pro sports too. I love being able to see the world. But when I think of some of my fondest memories, it was like college, man. Everybody's trying to figure it out. Figure out.
Yeah, I'm with you. So you got that. All right. So you pick Tennessee. You get down there. It's a culture shock. Straight out the gate. Meet new friends. Tell me what it was like jumping in the saddle for practice. You got Coach Summit. What was that like playing for Coach Summit? Rest in peace.
Well, first of all, I didn't know what I was getting into. I'm gonna say some polite way. Oh man, that lady. Once you cross that line, it's like it's business.
Yes, it is.
Man, I'm like you can't really joke. Now when practice is over, it's like she'll ride you whatever during practice. Da 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 da. I've heard her tell people. Sometimes I look at you and I wonder why I even gave you a scholarship. That's cold blooded.
Hey man, woo!
Man, and she would ride you. And the thing is, she told me one day because it was getting like tough. Like you always yelling at me, and you understand. It was a coach, a male coach there called Kevin O'Neill was the coach. He's from New York or whatever. Yeah. Coach said, I have to talk to Coach O'Neill because I have to try to connect with you better. Because see, I had that New York in me. I was quiet, I was chill, but I had that pit bull, so that super competitive thing. Right. So you're threatening me in a sense to, I'm gonna run you to death. That don't do nothing. Okay, whatever. You could yell at me. I'm not motivated by that. Mm-hmm. And we had to figure out our balance. And so I'm like, Coach, like I'm getting in trouble. You're making the team run. Everybody's pissed at me. You know how that goes. Right. One, I said, listen. If I do something, just make me run. And she said that's when she realized that I got it. Accountability and understanding, like my role and what I have to bring to this team. And I said, Coach, listen, if you want me to do something, just talk to me. Just tell me. You don't have to scream at me. You don't like someone screams at me. You know how it is. You're like, huh? I don't hear you.
Yeah.
After that, after we connected and we learned how to work with each other in the sense. Man, we were like a dynamic connection. Yeah. We had it.
Yeah. And y'all had a mob. Y'all had a mob coming through there. You leading the pack, and you got help coming along the way.
Every year it just got better.
Hey man, listen. As me growing up watching UT, I never watched for Allen Houston, and Al's my guy. You know what I mean?
Legend.
I'm gonna text him after this and tell him, man, look, I don't mean nothing about this. But I'm just saying, I wasn't watching it for them. You know what I mean? I'm watching it to see what the Lady Vols do. Because I remember I was an HBCU baby. You know what I mean? At Tennessee State University. My mom worked there, coached and what else? Everything else, as a matter of fact. And I remember watching the men's and the women's was thriving. You know what I mean? And I remember the Carolyn Aldridge and people like that. And that was the coldest thing I had seen until I saw you. You know what I mean? And I was like, damn, I wonder what. Now, Carolyn, come on, man. But what she doing the same stuff she doing, but she doing on a bigger platform. Like, let me check them out. You know what I mean? So I started watching Lady Vol basketball. And I remember some people asking me when I got up there, like, why do you go support the Lady Vols? Like, why do you go to their games all the time? One, we're family. You know what I mean? And two, this ain't ordinary basketball, you know what I mean, that you're watching. You feel what I'm saying? So, talk about that as far as y'all transcended the game. Like, everybody did what they did in women's basketball in college, but y'all changed it. You feel what I'm saying? Did you feel that? You feel that pressure, or did you feel it along the way of winning 3 straight national championships?
Definitely.
What were your thoughts on that?
We felt it building up, It's like I go there as a freshman and we win, It's like, oh my God, it's the excitement. All right, they won before, right? Right. Then you win again, and it's like, after losing 10 games, like it was like Cinderella season. We did an HBO documentary. It was like, these kids, oh man, there's some grit about them. Oh man, yeah. This Holdsclaw kid, whatever, like she's special. Then check this out. Mm-hmm. Then I always tell people, the black girl magic is just sprinkled over Knoxville because you get the names, the Tamika, Chamique, the Samika.
3 weeks.
You're like what? But it changed. It changed because the athleticism. Like people weren't used to that. Coach Summit was genius because a great coach understands that whole Phil Jackson thing is like, all right, it's a manager of personalities now. These kids could play.
Right.
So she did, but she started going down to Chicago, meet with Tex Winters from the Bulls, the offense, the offense. So Coach Summit would go to Chicago, learn the triangle. She's like, all right, this is what we're going to run. We got too many, we got these athletes, and we don't want to be boxed in. Okay, Holdsclaw can bring down the ball at any time. Move Jolly over to the slot, spot her up, let Holdsclaw initiate the offense. So it just flowed. Catches could do it. We were so interchangeable.
Right.
And then we had the man, I played, we was on a Tennessee Zoom call last night. Check this out.
Okay.
I played with, I would say, 3 of the best defenders in all of UT women's basketball program.
Yeah.
Check this. When your job is just to play defense, 94 feet, you special. 9 bucks. Samika Randall. Elsie, like, Kyra said, Coach said, don't you shoot the ball. Pass the ball. But they knew their roles, right? And we got those champions. I had Alexis on Hornbuckle, 2 championships with CP, and they're 10 years later take it to a whole nother level.
Right.
But what they did was, she was amazing. Lisa, as she told me, she's on the call, we talking trash. She's like, but I am the all-time steals leader at Tennessee, and Nia Bush, though, that don't mean you play defense.
Yeah, you just gambling a lot. Yeah, and that's my girl. Shout out to Lex and Nia.
Oh, it's all good. She is one of the best defenders, tough kid, but that's just the beauty of it. I mean, I see you go back and support the male players, and seeing the game grow, and knowing that you've been a part of that, the tradition, the history. When I walk into Thompson Bowling, I see those banners. I remember when I was in school, when Tony and Isaiah and all of them, when the men's basketball started clicking, man, we were like, what?
Yeah, it's going down. Yeah.
Go for a while, like, oh man, everybody go watch the Lady Vols because the guys Peyton and all them. We had the football team all came to Lady Vol games.
Right.
But it's like we love men's basketball too. So we was there, and that excitement, man. We was balling, they was balling, football was doing everything. Knoxville was hot.
Hey, and what's funny is to see you talk about the sports and the family of sports with the energy that you talk about. I was the same way. Like, I remember coming in, and I remember, like, the football team just won a national championship. The Lady Vols were coming off a national championship. You know what I mean? And I was like, the men that just went to the NCAA tournament with Coach Green, and I was like, damn, man, like, we supposed to be up here on that level. And I always, in the back of my mind was like, man, we got to live up to a certain standard. You know what I mean? And this is not just a one sport thing. This is across the whole landscape of Tennessee sports. You know what I mean? And you saw, like you said, the interest and everything grow. And man, when they took them black curtains down, I'll never forget. They took them black curtains down for the men's game. I was like, hell yeah, we done arrived.
Oh man.
Like 10 minutes on.
Yeah, but y'all class really, like, Tony and them kind of, because they have Vincent Yarborough, they had a lot of buzz or whatever, and Tony could go, man. He was a special talent, and so it was all this excitement. And I think when you came in, you brought a lot of energy. I remember watching. I was like, man, this guy's crazy. You had a motor. See, they needed that, and it was like that person that just go out there and play hard defense and bring some. Even though I left UT, I'm like watching games. I'm like, oh my God, because we weren't on campus with each other.
Right, we wasn't. Yeah.
And it's like, so it's family for real.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. So okay, y'all win 3 national championships in a row. What was it like that 4th year when you lost? You getting ready to leave and go pro. What was your mindset getting ready to get out of there, you two?
So it was tough because, man, losing.
Real quick. Those years were what, 95, 96, or 96, 97, 98?
Yeah, we lost 99 my senior year.
Yeah, lost 99, okay. Yeah.
And it was just like, I would say almost a shock because we were so talented and we worked hard. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. Like, we coached each other. We were all like humble. Like one time I'm not playing defense, Mika grabbing my shirt, like, come on, Meek. Like we kept each other accountable because we knew we were built different. Never had we had a game where I was in foul trouble, was sucking. They ran boxing once. Tamika, we looking at each other in the bench, both in foul trouble.
Right.
Had an ankle injury and she's basically limping around, and we were like, oh my God, they like took us out, nothing we could do. So we lost, and it was really tough to end that way. A lot of times, you have a lot of success. So I had 7 out of 7 times,
right.
And locker room crying, man. I'm in tears. I'm hurt. You're young, so you're embarrassed. And Coach Sumner said, pick up your chin right now.
Yeah.
I had so much success. You have to understand how to handle failure. You handle it with the same class. You know what I'm saying? That you do. So I picked up my head and I went forth. And when I went forth, it's different because no other player before me had like experience like endorsement of these major companies, the Nikes, the Gatorade. Nickelodeons and all this stuff. I'm getting my own shoe. I fly out the Nike. Everybody got welcome to Nike. Like I didn't even see it. I'm just walking around. And I'm like, every
right.
Like it's unreal. What I walked through.
Yeah.
And it was a journey to I guess match that type of success. The draft was actually in New York that year, and I remember my grandmother handed me a letter when I walked off the podium, and I cried because it was a letter like I wrote as a kid, and I was like, I want to be the first woman to play in the NBA, and she gave me that whole letter, and I was like, I got to continue to work hard, and here I was in New York, getting drafted, #1 pick, going to Washington D.C., getting to be close to my family, and it was just a beautiful thing to experience.
That's dope. You know what I mean? That is because it's so many different levels and so many different emotional roller coasters.
Right.
Going through a pro journey, even leading up to it. You know what I mean? Like, I want to reach back for a second and talk about what it meant. You touched on it. I want you to elaborate a little bit more on coachability and being able to play your role, you know what I mean, and knowing that with team success comes the individual accolades and so forth and so on. I was privy to that, you know what I mean, my team doing well, and all of a sudden I look up, I'm All-American, SEC player of the year, this, that, and the other, and it's like, that was all because I focused in on watching the team do great, you know what I mean, and us winning. That's what brought the awards on. So tell me your mind state before we jump into the pro part.
Right.
What was your mind state as far as you being coachable, you being accountable, like you said, Chamique pull on your jersey, like, come on, man, you got to hold this down. You know what I mean? What was that like, and what was your mindset to that? Did you come in thinking you were offensive powerhouse and you was just going to stay offensive, or what was that?
No, coming in, man, I knew it was it was like my high school coach. It's Coach Summit's way of life, you know. Right. But I knew I was a gifted player, and she was just like, she just wanted me to play. You know, she wasn't saying, "Oh, you're gonna do X, Y, and Z." Mm-hmm. She goes, "You're an athlete. You're special. Just let you play." But the thing I really liked about it is just the team, the support and love for each other, and everybody understanding. But see, a great coach really. I like to say sometimes, yeah, they can't always define like your position. It's how you play the game. You know, if you are versatile, you're versatile. But I think a good coach like puts it out there. You know what I'm saying? Right. In the way they structure things. Okay, this is Holdsclaw is going to get the ball. Holdsclaw did it, or such and such is going to come here. Jolly, you got to get her the ball. Coach Summit was able to structure her system, and people had so much respect for her. We knew it's all about the team. Right. If it was a selfish person on there, they probably didn't play.
They were going to be the maybe.
She knew, like, we have such and such. How many plays on a college team? 12?
12, yeah, somewhere around there, yeah. 12 scholarships, yeah.
12 players ain't going to play.
Right.
It might get 8. It is what it is.
Right.
You have the kids at the end of the bench who are great people,
Mm-hmm.
but they're gonna make 4.0s.
Yeah.
And everybody plays their role. But the thing about being a team is being able to allow others to help you. So I will have teammates on the bench, pulling on my jersey. They don't touch the court, but they're like, me. They're doubling you. They're doubling you. You gotta look over your left shoulder. And I'm, at first you're like, huh?
Yeah, what you talking about?
They're watching the game. They see everything.
They're in tune. They locked in, yeah.
And so it's like you really in this all together. Nobody's at the end of the bench pouting,
Mm-hmm.
And nowadays it's a little different,
Right.
With some kids. And another thing is Coach Summer. It wasn't none of that parent stuff,
Right.
like
Claw, that mercy.
the coach is supposed to coach. That's what they do,
Right.
And if you want to coach, go get your OT. So we didn't have, mom and daddy and auntie coming up. In high school, it was the same thing. You know what I'm saying? If there's a problem, my high school coach said, if there's a problem, you feel your child is not getting the playing time that they should, there's other teams.
Right.
There's other schools. It is, man. Because the thing about it is like, a lot of times, in certain cases, you speak up for your kid.
Right.
You feel being like mistreated or whatever. But as far as like playing time and certain things, and a lot of times the parents don't understand. I don't know if you witnessed this. The kids are embarrassed. They're embarrassed by the parent. They're
Please speak to it.
I hate when he comes to practice.
Please speak to it.
I'm like, what? Because sometimes you're living vicariously through your child. The kid's a good kid. The kid
Mm-hmm.
makes great grades.
Mm-hmm.
Loves to compete. It's just not, they don't have the same passion with the
Right.
game that the parent does. But it's just tough. A lot of my kids, that I meet, it's the parents don't realize sometimes you got to push your child, but sometimes it starts to mess with the whole psychology of the kid.
And I love that you touched on that, Nick, because first of all, viewers, you're in the Boom Boom Room, me and Chamique Holdsclaw, Ron Slade. We all over the place, but we going in the same direction because we're gonna deviate for a second. When you talk about the parents, like I explained this to a lot of parents, that's your baby. You know what I mean? Like you want them to do good. When you come home, the home team doesn't come home with you. So if I'm having a conversation with you, it's most of the time gonna be aimed at you. You know what I mean? Like I need you to do this, I need you to do that. But what they not understanding as a parent is, it is a strategy in place to get the most out of the team. Me as a coach, I do not want to, I promise you parents, I do not want to lose my job. I would love, and the way I keep my job is we win. So I'm going to come up and advise a strategy to the team, and this part goes with this part goes with that part, so forth and so on. So when you say that, who do you believe it hurts more? Does it hurt the person, you screaming at your child, or does it hurt the team? Me, I say it hurts the team because you put the kid in a tug of war, with trying to please you and trying to please the team, knowing that if I go ahead and do what the coach asks, that knows what they're doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, all coaches don't know what they're doing. I ain't saying everybody's,
Right.
to say.
That's a whole other thing. You gotta realize when you're putting your kids in the sports, you gotta know a little bit about these coaches that you're sending your child to. Backgrounds and all.
That's your homework. That's your homework as a parent.
Right, and a lot of times it's like, oh no, just go play with the best team. Everybody wants the glamour of it, where it may be another team. They don't have the fresh uniforms and fly, but it's a coach that is really a great coach that's going to help develop them as a player.
Right. That's it. So you got that. People is gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt the team, and you don't want to put your kid in this spot when they're going to school. They got to see these kids way more honestly than they got to see you as a parent. You know what I mean? They're seeing them at least 12 hours out of the day. You know what I mean? They sleeping for 8.
The whole comparison thing. Think about that, man. And these kids now, they're at the social media.
Exactly.
The whole stress, that the weight that they're carrying in some cases we didn't even really we didn't have to deal with that. You
No,
know,
we didn't.
if you win, they said, oh, Ron Slay, he's the MVP. You were like really the MVP because you know what I'm saying? Like you really put
Hell
it.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm so glad. I'm gonna be honest. I'm so glad we had that meet. But especially listen, man. I'm gonna tell y'all this meet because we uncut, unraw in the boom boom room. I remember driving home, being pulled over.
Uh-huh.
First of all, I ain't got no license.
Oh.
I'm in my SS Impala. Shout out to Will. You know what I mean? It's Mother's Day, but shout out to Will. I always shout out my boy. You know what I mean? I'm in my SS Impala. That was my pops. That was my pops that came along for me. You know what I mean? I'm in there. I'm coming down, and I'm actually racing Isaiah Victor.
Oh,
He
Lord.
in the Lincoln LS. He got Chris Whitney LS down there. I got the SS Impala. We racing. They pulled me over. I ain't got no license. I'm like, kiss my ass. You know what I mean? I reached in the glove compartment. Mind you, I'm a little inebriated at the time. I reached in the glove compartment, and I just handed the officer all the papers plus my license. You know what I mean? Right out the window like this. Hey, man. He said, listen here, man. I know what you got going on. I'm going to follow you all the way home. And I thank him for that. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, it's different. There's levels to this right here. You know what I mean? Y'all with Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, everything that it is, man, don't get caught up in that, man. Don't do it for the likes, man. Do it for your grind. You feel what I'm saying? That's what I think. Because you'll see a person come on that worked out once that month and post a highlight video and get 1 million likes and be like, damn it, I'm cold. You know? So, what do you think? We're going to transition to the pro and we're going to get out of here in a minute. What do you think what do you think that life would have been like? What's your advice to kids with social media now and getting caught up in that and becoming social media heroes in a sense? Like, it's some that's warranted.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? There's some that come along like the young kid, Imani Bates. You know what I mean? LeBron. You know what I mean? Like, and there's some girls out there that you know what I mean? The Candace Park, the Chamique Holdsclaw that come along. Like, it's a special month.
Yeah.
There's some special people out there. You know what I mean? What's your advice on how to handle social media, if you have any?
I think social media it's a great thing. I just think you need to manage it in a way. Matt, just think about this. Everything that you post can follow you for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? That aspect about it. Right. I think my girl used to tell me comparison, right? Comparison is the thief of joy. You know what I'm saying? So the thing about it is like a lot of these kids are always like, oh my God, did you see such and such? He got these, she got that. Like, stop all that. That's adding anxiety. Right. You know, poor kids are dealing with anxiety and anxious behaviors because they're constantly comparing themselves. I mean, the world's about like competition, but you can't be on that thing, you know, 4 or 5 hours a day looking at whatever. Go read a book. Go to the gym. Like, I worked out. I mean, rain, sleet, or snow. I'm traveling. I'll be dribbling down the street with my ball. I don't have to just. It wasn't just me walking to a gym and play. Like, I bust my butt when nobody's looking. And the thing about it is, you got kids nowadays. They don't work on their game if they're not with the team. Right. Or practicing. You want that separation. You got to be willing to do the stuff that sometimes it's uncomfortable. It affects your social life. Social life in high school. Man, I didn't really have one like that because I was always around basketball season, AAU. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get to do like the wild stuff everybody else did.
Hey, man, the sacrifice that comes along with trying to reach a certain type of level is different.
But you look back, boom, we ain't got no college debt.
No, you beautiful. No, you cool.
You're good. You don't think about that when you're younger. Like friends, you know, I have a lot of friends, and I'm sure you had. I mean, you went back 2-3 years ago, right?
Yeah, I went back 3 years ago.
Burning because you like, man, you know, another male athlete was like, man, I don't know what I was thinking. To be at university 4 years,
right?
To only have like it was the credits that he lived. It was just like, really? I was like, are you serious? And he's like, man, just was not focused, you know. Yeah. And so just try us in our journeys trying to help kids now saying, all right, like, yeah, you could transfer, make sure if you're going to transfer these credits, the academic piece, because at the end of the day, you got pimped. That's what the kids tell me, man. If you don't get your degree, because I'm at the campus speaking with the kids about mental health and wellness, they're like, man, you got to get something from them. They're going to take all they can from you, right? So you walk out of there with that paper.
Please.
Walk out of there with that paper.
I remember it, man. I say this all the time. I don't have regrets, but at the same time, I wish I would have did a couple things different. Like when I was getting ready to go pro, I wish I would have stayed in school and worked out. And then when the process came, went to Houston and worked out with John Lucas. Therefore, that all the other stuff that came with it. But I had I needed 18 credits when I left.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And it was cool.
What's that like? What's that? 6 classes?
Yeah, that ain't nothing. You know what I mean? So 6, I come back 3 years ago. You know what I mean? And, I took a class here and there throughout the summer of my pro career. I played 14 years pro. Came back and was like, let me dig in. Man, I need 38 hours. Man, they done changed the curriculum. Added on. You know what I mean? So when you got the opportunity to get it, people. Go get it. You know what I mean? Because the professors still know you now. Luckily, I came back in the situation where I got a mouthpiece and I'm sociable and I can talk to people. So I'm going to communicate. You know what I mean? Like, hey, man, I need this help, that up, this, that, and the other. So it worked out in my favor, but I still had to go for a whole year. Well, I could have finished out that semester and been done with it. You know what I mean? So that's just food for thought.
Well, you different too, because we talked about that. I mean, we know I have a lot of other friends with other schools and stuff, and they may have made an impact in their school, but they come back and the school's like, no, we're not paying for you to come back to school.
Nah, we're not gonna do it. Yeah.
Like, and I'll ask them, have you talked to anybody there? Nah, I was overseas. The thing is, relationships, learning what a good handshake is. Coach Summit used to be like, man, looking people in the eye. And I often tell kids in different schools, I'm like, okay, everybody's not going to win championships. Everybody's not going to get streets and things like that. But when you're playing in front of these, these boosters or sponsors, that's like your business card, right? That's your way to connect, to say, hey, I know I can't intern, but I want to get into this field after. Can I come by your office? Can I learn things? People have to see you. They also have to know what you want, right?
Right.
A closed mouth don't get fed. And so I think sometimes, like, us as we're the older generation now, being able to impart that knowledge onto these younger kids, because let's be real, man, these universities and colleges is as good as it's going to get for a lot of people that pass through it. I don't know about you, but I know I probably wouldn't have been going to like a university as big as Tennessee if my family had to pay for it.
Yeah. You put that in the back. You know what I mean? I'm probably going to be around the corner somewhere at the community college for a second. You know what I mean?
Right, definitely. I've been in state, going to St. John's. St. John's is a great college too, but it's not that level as a Tennessee, and the same support and stuff. So I always just tell them, just prepare yourself and do your homework. It shocks me that a lot of young people don't even know like the pioneers who came before them. Like I knew I knew the top coaches, women's. I could tell about the NBA, about all the women, and that's before the world really on TV. So
come on now.
I'll be like, name top 3 NBA point guards, that can shoot, or top 3 WNBA. And they're like,
Know your history. You got to be able to tap into the resources. You're not even gonna be able to tap into the resources because you don't know no history. You gonna went through 4 years of college and you don't even know you are okay. I ain't even gonna get on that, but.
Like a whole nother topic.
That's a whole nother topic. And I'm gonna get you out of here in a minute.
They have the most access though.
You say they do. It's in their palm. And my old lady just came in and took mine. So I don't know. You feel me?
Whole career probably now, but
exactly. So real quick, I want to touch on the pro game But I want to say that for the people. We'll say that for another time. You know what I mean? Because we
Right.
don't.
We could do that. We definitely, because I think the pro, we could do a whole, man, I don't know how many people, but I think it'd be dope just sharing that whole like transition of the pro. The pro, you can break it down into so many pieces,
It's
as
a
you
whole
know.
different life.
Yeah, whole different life responsibility. So yeah, that would
Right.
be dope. I'm down if you ever want to do that.
Yeah. So let me tell you, Meek. Now, you know what I mean. My whole thing is, this right here is like sports therapy. You know what I
Uh,
mean? And this, in a sense, for me, is paying it forward to the people that's coming behind us. You know what I mean? The young ladies, the young men, anybody that may be coming up. You know what I mean? This is two people that had successful careers, one more than another. And I mean, way up there.
whatever.
Now see, this is what I'm saying, y'all. See how she want to get bashful now? See, when I tell you the separation, that's what I'm talking about. But the latter part is when the cheering stops. So we talk about the pro career, and then when the cheering stops and all those people stop cheering for you and stop liking what you got on Instagram, and all of a sudden you wake up the next day and basketball is no more. Besides you coaching or training or something like that, but you don't get to hear that roar of the crowd anymore. You know what I mean? So what is that transition like? We'll touch that on a whole nother time.
We gotta dig into that and unpack that because that's just so
It's
important
different.
because they need to understand like while they're in it, they're going through transitions in their life now. From middle school to high school, people deal with transitions as psychologically loss of a family member.
Right.
And you just gotta be aware of these things and learn how to I guess in a sense you could kind of prepare your mind mentally
Right.
a little bit for it. But again, life is to be lived, right? And
Yeah.
we're able to impart because you learn from the ups and downs and all arounds, right?
No doubt about it. So last thing, and I'm gonna let you get out of here, Meek. Talk about, because I feel, now listen to me, people. You're in the boom boom room. I told y'all it's uncut. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We get to it. So last thing I want to talk about. The University of Tennessee sports, we touched on it. It's a family. You know what I mean? But like football is a family. It's its own entity. Basketball is the same. But around the globe, Lady Vols, your family is totally different, especially the basketball family. Can you touch on for a second what that's like? Like what does that mean? What does that mean to be a Lady Vol? You know what I mean? I know a couple of years ago they were trying to do away with it and all make it one. And I was one of the people on board. Man, y'all must be crazy. Like, I paid attention to the University of Tennessee because of the Lady Vols. You know what I mean? So tell me what it's like, that 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 family, that Lady Vol family, and we all saw it. I know a lot of us got a glimpse of it when Pat passed. As far as the people that were in the house when they had the TBA ceremony and everything. But what did that mean to you? What does that mean to be a part of it, and what does it mean for future Lady Vols that come into it? How should they look at it? Because right now it's kind of in a tough time. You know what I mean? We talk about it real. You know what I mean? But I think what's missing is the dedication and the loyalty and paying respects to the people and knowing the history that came along with it. Me as a men's basketball team player, you know what I mean? I know the history. You know what I mean? I'm talking about dating all the way back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when I see them, I'm like, shit, man. Man, I'm calling home to my homeboys. Hey, man, we in Stokely, man. I just seen Nick McCray up here hooping, man. You know what I mean? I just seen Nick up here. Nah, Chamique up here playing with us right now. Yeah, like, you feel me? That's what I'm calling home with. You know what I mean? I ain't calling home about the J. Lou's and the Paytons and all that. You feel me? So tell me what that family atmosphere is like.
It's funny because Kyra Elsie, she's won two championships with me, assistant coach, associate coach at Kentucky.
Right.
She said to me, she goes, "We recruiting it." I won't call the person out, right? The young lady.
No need.
That's 5-star athlete a couple years ago. And she goes, I want to wear number 23. And so Kyra said she looked at her and she said, come on, I want to show you something. Let's walk with me. Yeah. And she goes, "You see this street, right?" And the girl was looking, and she said, "Okay, see the street, see Pat Summit, whatever. Let me take you inside. See that jersey up there?" And the girl looked. She goes, "Yeah, that's Chamique Holdsclaw." And she goes, "She got her own street, and the jersey retired. You ain't gonna be able to wear that, baby. Do your research."
Please do your research. Please.
I would never I knew what numbers. I don't know. It's just a different time. I knew everything, but as far as I knew everything as far as the players, man. I'm like, oh my god, like this player, that player. But anyhow, I think to be a Lady Vol, man, it's just the things that we're able to we play. We've been coached by Coach Summit. I would say I'll talk about basketball first, and we've been coached by this woman. I mean, just the discipline. It was more than just basketball. She talked to us. I tell people just about life on some real stuff, and being able to take that into the real world. Because when she's telling you when you're young, you're like, oh my gosh, she's tough. She gets on my nerves. I don't want to really talk about it. But when you see how life works, you see how you're just built different. There's a different resiliency in your core, and to see how we're out in the world, right? We're all doing, great things, but how we're able to always touch back. I know for the group that I play with, and even Alexis, me and Alexis, and Candace, we always talk about those things. That's like our family. Yes, you're gonna get along with some better than others.
Mm-hmm.
No, shoot, that's my sister. I ain't gonna let nobody say nothing
regardless.
around me about none of that. Don't bring that around me.
That ain't the time.
I didn't talk to me and Naya. Buzz always go and talk to Naya, and probably I haven't seen her, talk to her maybe a year or so, or whatever. And I just hit her up yesterday, yo, what you doing? She's like, hit me right back. Is everything okay? And I'm like, nah, we good. I'm about to hit you on the Zoom. And she's like, me, because she knows I'm a comedian. She goes, man, I make sure you was right, because I ain't talked to you in a second. And she's like, oh, your butt's crazy. But it's just we just hop back into it. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And people got families, their careers, and you just love to see it. We are Pat's legacy, right? And on top of that, Pat she recruited so many other athletes from various sports. You know what I'm saying? So when it came down to the Lady Vol thing, I'm like, Zakia will tell you she came to Tennessee, my college roommate, track, because Pat said, we're getting another kid from New York, and why would you want to go anywhere else? She said, Zach said she went and she had heard about me, and she's like, I'm going to Tennessee.
Yeah, she in tune with what's going on. Yeah.
Right. And then Pat, it's just the pride, it's just spread out. So of course, when they were saying Lady Vols, only the women's basketball is going to wear Lady Vols. Nah. This is what we built here. It was something special. Tennessee was one of the few, a lot of people don't know this, athletic departments that had separate men's and women's. Right. Joan Cronin was, she headed outside, and it was
Joan, man.
You shout out to Joan.
Right.
And that was people don't understand the plight of it. You know what I'm saying? And Title IX, that's a whole nother thing. Right. Women don't always have that space to operate, so that's why we had to make ourselves stick out as the Lady Vols.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're a brand now.
Yeah, it is what it is. Oh, shit, y'all made it. You might as well carry it.
Right. So how you gonna take that away? So I'm glad that all got worked out, and everybody's happy now.
Right. Okay. Last thing, Mick, I'm gonna let you on out there. Let me go key up the theme music and everything, so my girl get out of here. Y'all can't hold on Mother's Day, team. You know what I mean? So, all right, for the fans. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody asked this yet, but this is me personally. Talk about the UConn and Tennessee rivalry. What does that mean to you? What is it bragging rights throughout it? I know you said, out of the state of New York, it was 3 of y'all taking number 1, you know what I mean? And it's a common bond between that before you even get to college, you know what I mean? What about when you get to college, it's a whole different representation because you were the queen of the mountain. It is what it is, you know what I mean? And tell me what that's like in them conversations, in that behind the scenes, in that back room. You might meet, you know what I mean? You might run up against Rebecca Lobo, or, you know what I mean? You might see a Diana Taurasi, or you might see a Sue Bird, or whatever it may be. You know what I mean? What's that conversation like Is it shit talking or, you know what I mean, do I got it wrong?
All right, so it goes like this. So,
okay, talk to me.
Some of Tennessee and UConn players are really good friends. One of my closest friends is a UConn player.
And this dates back. I know this all years.
Yeah, we cool with it. We have respect. You know, it's a lot of respect. Like they love Pat. You know, they respect her as a coach the same way we respect Gina. But at the end of the day, it's about your years that you were in school, right? So me and Asia Jones played at UConn. I mean, played against each other in college. And people used to try to be like, oh, Tennessee, UConn. And we look at each other and we're like, we don't care. And I'm like, I don't care. I won 3 out of 4 championships.
Hello.
It's cool. Like,
hello.
Like, I don't care, so that's how it goes. But you know, it was like the Rebecca Lobo, then it was like Chamique Holdsclaw, then it was like Tarasi, then it was like a little drought on our side, and Candace Parker came. You know, then they had another player, and then kind of like left us for a couple of years.
There you go, and we don't even know why they left. I'm just saying.
UConn was kind of skating. Now we got to get that back, you know. But it's great for the game, man. I'm glad they're playing again, but. You know, the truth be told is like the game's back, but we gotta step it up so we can compete because they've kind of run away with it a little bit, you know.
Yes, they have. Hey man, well listen to them, man. I'm just saying, I pulled in the bag, people. Y'all want me to get in the bag? I went and got in the bag. You know what I mean? Put my dog out. Meek, I appreciate it. You know what I mean? It's all love. You got anything to leave the people with in the boom boom room?
Nah, just everybody just stay safe, stay blessed. And for the young kids, you know, just always remember to put that work in, you know what I'm saying? And have a good approach and be coachable, you know. End of the thing, that coachable thing is gonna carry you through life, you know, from basketball to the schoolwork to the boardrooms, whatever. Nobody wants to hang around somebody that, you know, has attitude. You know how it is. Right. But yeah, we'll do that again. I'm about to go eat. We got the seafood. It's gonna be magnificent.
Hey, guess what? All I'm saying is I'm putting this out here immediately, man. Hit me up after the last dance, man, so we can wrap. You know what I mean? We're gonna talk about the part 2. This part 1, y'all hold on to that. You know what I mean? Enjoy it.
We stayed on Scott. We had a Zoom call. How long we was on there?
Come on now. See, you can't give the people everything. Hey, I'm telling y'all, we probably got on by about 11 Central Time, 12 their time. We didn't get off to at least 3. At least minimum 3.
Man,
that was stupid.
That was fun though, but listen, enjoy your wife and y'all take care, everybody, and I'll hit you after.
Most definitely, get a love to the family, man. Carol, love y'all. Happy Mother's Day, man. It is what it is.
I'll see you. Bye-bye.
All right, no doubt. All right, man. So, listen here, man. Y'all got it. You know what I mean? That was the GOAT. You know what I mean? So I can brag on it now that the interview is over. Listen, y'all. That was the GOAT. Like, I can't, as an interviewer, I can't cross them boundaries, you know what I mean, till it's over with. That's my dog, Chamique Holdsclaw. Much love, you know what I mean? That is the GOAT. You know what I mean? Now, it's 2 or 3, 4 GOATs behind her, but the GOAT, man, she came out of school, you know what I mean, out of college and was known as the Michael Jordan to women's basketball. You know what I mean? She tapped on it a little bit as far as having Gatorade, Nike. She had her own shoe. You hear me? Do you hear me? She had her own shoe. That's all I'm saying, man. You know? So take that for what it's worth, man. I hope y'all got something out of it, especially you young ladies. Young men also, man, like it's different levels to it. You know what I mean? She came from Christ the King winning 4 state titles. I knew all this, but I'm trying to get y'all this. You know what I mean? So it was beautiful, man. I really appreciate her coming on. And we're going to have a part 2. The part 2 is going to be when the cheering stops, though. So you're going to have to get a ticket to that one because the lineup is going to be serious. You hear me? The lineup is going to be so serious. This ain't nothing but the prequel to the main appetite, the main entree that's coming. Then we have a dessert at the end. You don't know who we might have on there. You know what I mean? But I got to save them in the stash. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know a lot of people asking me, will you get Chamique catches on? Maybe. My dog too. Maybe. Might pull it out the bag. Might save it for the panel. You never know, man. So stay in touch. And we're going to have these right here coming soon. Check it out. We got the Boom Boom Room, Ron Slate, you know what I mean? Got them shirts. Got them shirts coming soon. You know what I mean? Gonna be able to subscribe. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Ron Slate 35, the Boom Boom Room. Check it out. You know, you see all the past interviews. But, hey, man, I appreciate all y'all joining us. Try to touch on a little bit of everything. We hold the pro career to after for her. You know what I mean? Meek got a long story. She got a long story. I appreciate her even giving the time to come on. You know what I mean? People don't, Andre B, people don't talk enough about how athletes deal with the lights go out. Exactly. Don't even worry about that. Don't even worry about that. Beat it up. Beat it up! You know what I mean? We're going to get to it. You know what I mean? So, you know, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. You know what I mean? Like I said in the beginning, man, Miss Kenza, all the women that are not here that were influential in my life, you know what I mean, or maybe lost a son or whatever it may be. You know what I mean? Miss Kenza, Miss Joyce, Steph, Clay Brooks, shout out to her. We got Carol Groves, Bub, Mom, you know what I mean? Why we love you, you know what I mean? Nardon and Mom, you know what I mean? And the extended family also, you know what I mean? They brothers and sisters, but I'm just speaking on the women that had an impact in my life, you know what I mean? Miss Joyce, West Side wouldn't be what it is, man, without you, you hear me? So all that's love, you know what I mean? Remember that, you know what I mean? So guess what? We out here. Appreciate y'all. That's the Boom Boom Room. Let me get on out of here. You know, I appreciate y'all coming through. Feel me? We gone.
My story is one that's interesting because I really feel like I got it out the mud. Oh, it's a dream come true.